Hi guys, it's Ben from Second Dynasty here. I'm just making an update for Mark Miller to show the progress and how far we've come, but I thought I'd actually just show it to the greater community to build a bit of buzz about the progress on the 3D printable 28mm Type S scout ship, the Murphy class. And you can kind of see the outside of the ship is actually coming along very well now. We haven't got any hull details on because we've been focusing on the general layout and interior of the ship. And in the last couple of weeks, what I've really been focusing on is the back part of the ship. And in fact, a 3D printed test print, which I'll show shortly. But especially the back end of the ship and the lower landing bay. So if I just turn off the top of the hull, you can, and in fact, I'll turn also off the upper deck because we don't want to see, and the main deck floor I've also turned off for the time being, so we can kind of see down into the bottom. If I turn off the turret, we can see down into the base of the ship, and it might be hard to tell because of the shadow. So let's go ahead and turn off some of these bulkheads, so we can kind of see down into the cargo bay. So now the ladder well isn't in place yet, but you'll have an iris valve that brings you down to this sort of like lower ceilinged area where you have access to the landing gear. They're not fully finished yet, but we've made the landing gear turn to the side just so that they pack away easier, and we're making better use of this tiled space in the interior. So we have this nice detail following Traveler's Own semiotic standard. We've got some fire extinguishers on the walls, med kits, speakers. Those kind of things really make it interesting and detailed, I feel. And then we have our cargo bay at the rear of the ship with our brand new ramp. So if I just animate this slightly, we get the ramp coming down. So it's a very simple ramp so far. The frame hasn't got much detail. This uses an actual clip that articulates, so you'll be able to open and close this. And then we have the engine section. The upper part right now is just mirrored from the bottom, so it's not the final version. These lines will actually hold the light switches for the engine lights. You can kind of see the mechanics are actually in place there. And if we isolate this section, we'll be able to see that we actually have the battery will go in here in a separate part. These are sort of these ruts to feed the cables through. There'll be custom lighting, and I do have some lights I've been able to test so far, not all of them. We've also done the vehicle bay so far. I haven't done all of the bulkheads properly yet, and the walls will need some more detailing, but I have successfully test printed them, and also what will be the airlock section. Mind the work, there's a lot of detail that's not there, but we do have some suit lockers here lined up along the entrance, and on the other side I'm planning to have some seating, maybe adding some additional handholds for zero-G maneuvering. So that is most of what I've done in the last week or two, and I'm quite pleased with how it's looking. And one of the reasons why I can say that is because, let me just check the microphone's still on. Yes, you can actually see, and this is quite exciting, we actually have the lighting already working and tested in this printed version of the lower decks. So this is how far we've gotten. It's a fairly light ship so far, only about a kilo in weight. This is temporary lighting. It's not the fully wired version. You can see the landing gear are missing. You can see it's got quite a good balance to it. It isn't falling apart. I have designed it to take some model airplane supports in some sections to increase the strength of things. But in general, yes, we have the lighting here. One of the switches at the back will just turn it on and off. And we'll also have some navigation lighting on the side, like a green and a red light to begin with. We'll see what else we might come up with. Anyway, that's just a quick, hopefully exciting update about the Type S scout ship. So we'll be live streaming some more development on Friday. I imagine that we'll have the whole of the back of the ship actually printed, at least in the prototype form, and then there'll be a second version in the future when we actually go back and detail the exterior hull, for example. I also have to figure out how the landing gear is going to stick in there and how we're going to get out the floor of the engineering section. So those are the challenges ahead. Hopefully you guys are excited for this. I know I'm really enjoying working on it. So thanks again, and I'll check back in a couple of days. Bye, guys.